Hey guys, it's Otto here, back with another video. So in this video today, guys, what I'm going to do is show you how you should structure your email marketing agency so that you eradicate risk, you can keep control of your employees, and you can have a professional and efficient way of dealing with your clients' access and logins, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to minimize my face here. I'm going to zoom straight into our organization structure here. But in the first instance, what we need to do is just discuss briefly what access actually involves, okay? So when it comes to email marketing, access is basically going to involve 2/3 things. The first is access to email, so having a Gmail, Google Workspace account. And the second one, more importantly, is access to your client's Klaviyo accounts, okay? And what this is all about, this video is to basically give you the top level view that you need in order to understand what kind of access you should be giving to the different types of employees you have, okay? So again, when it comes down to access, it's about control. And as the agency owner, you want to make sure that you are fully in control of all of your own agency assets, okay? And yes, that refers to the work that your contractors and your freelancers are doing, okay? You own it as the agency, and that should be in your contracts, okay? Also, control is important too, because if you've given the wrong employees too much access, it's going to be very difficult to get rid of them. And equally, it's harder to hire employees when you don't actually have a system in place when it comes to setting up the access that they actually need, all right? You don't want to give them too much access to information that they don't need, which is going to confuse them in their role, okay? Again, it comes down to risk. So we want to make sure that our employees have the right access so that they don't steal anything, so that if something happens or if they go on holiday, you're not locked out of the client account. You can have control at any one point in time where you can fire those employees, get other ones in place, and you're not going to lose out, and your clients won't even notice, okay? The other elements to understand when it comes to access that are really important is make sure that all of your access details, like your emails that you're using for your staff, are client facing. And what you need to do is just make sure that they are professional, that branding is on point, and all of these things will help increase trust, okay? So instead of having an email address, which is like, I don't know, email marketer, XX69, whatever, make sure that your emails that you're setting up for your employees are on brand and appropriate, okay? Because you don't know where clients might see them. They might see them in Klaviyo, they might see them in Markup, ClickUp, whatever tools you're using with your agency. And what we're also going to talk about here when we go into our agency organizational chart here is just about the tiers and levels of access to Klaviyo that are important, okay? So the four kind of most common, really the three most common that you're going to be dishing out to your employees are basically summarized by the manager, the content, and the analyst user permission tier, okay? So, like I say, without further ado, let's jump into how we set up our agency from an organizational point of view to ensure that we have full control at all times over all of the correspondence that our employees are having with our clients, as well as all of the assets that they are building in their Klaviyo account, okay? So we're going to change the color of my pen, move my face, and this is where we start, okay? So it all starts here with the agency, okay? You are an email marketing agency owner if you're watching this, or maybe you're a freelancer and you're wanting to bring on new staff members, okay? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what you need to do in order to ensure all of these tick boxes are sorted here, okay? So the first step is to determine what access you need, all right? So when it comes to you as the agency owner, you're going to need a Google account, okay? And a Google Workspace where you can basically create other Google accounts and Gmail accounts for employees, and you have full control over doing so. What I recommend is you just use your first name. You can use your first and last name at agency.com, whatever your agency name is. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you've already got an email set up. Now, when it comes to Klaviyo, here's what you want to do. You want to have your own dedicated agency account, okay? And that's important because I'm going to explain that in a moment here. Now, from there, what you want to do and what you can do is get your client to go to the organization tab in their account, go to the user section of that, and add your email address here as a user to their Klaviyo account too, okay? So you're going to have access to your own as the owner. And then what you're going to do is ask your clients to add you into their Klaviyo account as an admin user, okay? And what an admin user is basically going to enable you to do is have full control over their Klaviyo account, just as you would if you had created it yourself and you were the owner of that account, but you just won't be able to delete the account or change any sort of, kind of permanent billing implications there, right? So this is the access that you need as an admin. And if you have any clients that complain about this, then you're not going to be able to do work for them, okay? It's very, very simple. Now, when it comes to the other members of staff in your agency, here's probably where you'll be looking first in the, the recruitment pool for support. Okay. Now, the first is an account manager, or what we like to call a full stack Klaviyo implementer. And this is basically a somewhat administrative member of staff who either manages client success. They jump into the bi-weekly calls that you're doing with clients, they conduct the reviews, do Q&A, or simply they are just responsible for actually building out and implementing flows, campaigns, and taking care of all the technical optimization in your client accounts, okay? And what you want to do for these is you want to create a Google account for each full stack implementer or account manager that you have, okay? So don't just create one email address, which is a shared inbox. You want to create 3. And the reason for that is that you're going to need 3 different emails, 3 different Klaviyo accounts that you can then add to your client accounts, all right? So when it comes to your implementers, we label we set up all of our Gmail accounts as support at. So we call it support at agency.com, support 1, support 2, support 3, 4, 5, however many members of the team that you have that are client facing or doing the day in day out work in the trenches, you want to give them a pretty generic email address like this, okay? So instead of them using their own email address that you have no control over, you want to create a fresh Gmail account that you control from your Google Workspace, that you can change their password at any time, lock them in, lock them out. And it's very important to do this because emails will sometimes come through from clients. You don't want your full stack implementers or account managers liaising directly with your clients without you actually knowing what conversations they're having, okay? And even if you've consolidated your comms channels, maybe you work through Slack or Discord or on ClickUp natively, clients will still email and WhatsApp and text and phone, as and when it suits them, okay? And you just want to make sure that you're seeing all of that information that's coming through. Okay, so from here, what you want to do is go to Klaviyo and create a free Klaviyo account for every single support member of staff you have. Okay, so every account manager, you create a new Klaviyo account for them. You do not use their existing Klaviyo account, okay? And then from there, once they've set up their Klaviyo account, you use the same email address and you get your clients to invite them as a manager to the client account, okay? So as an admin, you're going to be able to take them out, remove them from that client account at any one point in time. And setting it up in this way, you're going to keep the tabs on all of the correspondence they are potentially having with their clients. All right. Now, the next key hires are more to do with the kind of direct implementation of Klaviyo. So when it comes to a graphic designer, again, you want to create a fresh Google account for them. We either call this content at agency.com, at our agency name, or design at agency.com. And it's really important to do so because when these employees log into your other tools like Markup or Google Drive or anything that's shared with your clients, your client will potentially get exposure to their email address, okay? And again, you don't want their personal email, if they're based in the Philippines or wherever it might be, they've got a really obscure personal Gmail. You want to make sure that everything is secure, everything is on brand, and everything makes sense. Okay, so if they are a designer, you can call it design at, content copywriter, they could be content at whatever. Okay, again, create a separate Klaviyo account for every single username, for each Google account. Add them to your client Klaviyo account and give them the permission of content. Okay, so the tiered access that they get to the client account is content. All right. Now, when it comes to any other sort of work, maybe you've got a VA, you've got an assistant who conducts your audits for you. What you don't want to do is give them, unbridled access as a manager or even as an admin user to your client Klaviyo accounts when potentially you haven't experienced this employee's quality of work. They've not worked for you for a long period of time, whatever it might be. So again, in any case, create them a separate Google account at your agency name, label that analyst. That's what we do. And that feeds into your audit strategy when you ask for analyst permission to your client accounts. Create a separate Klaviyo account for them. Again, like every single employee, get them added to your client Klaviyo account and get them added with analyst permissions, okay? And what this is going to enable you to do is basically continue to build trust with your prospective clients where you say to them, look, we're going to do an audit. All we need is analyst access. We're not going to be able to access any of your billing, change anything in the account. It's just going to give us top level access so that we can actually find problems to solve for you, find opportunity gaps, and hopefully deliver these to you as an agency. All right, so there we go, guys. Very quickly, in a nutshell, don't overcomplicate it, but make sure that you are setting up all your employees with a fresh Google account, a fresh Klaviyo account, and then you add them to your client Klaviyo account, okay? So don't give everybody admin access. Do it this way, and I promise you it will save you a huge amount of headaches in the future. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you got strategic value from it, Please consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me. It helps this channel grow. Obviously, drop a comment below if you've got any questions, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, cheers.